unemployment insurance. And to add to all the chaos today, we've got some air traffic controllers on strike as well, which may result in the cancellation of up to 30% of flights across main airports in France. So needless to say, if you are flying in and out of France, if you're in that airspace, double check before you set off. Well, to talk us through what's at stake, I'm joined by Ashok Kumar, who is a political economist at Birkbeck University here in London. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
So talk us through today's issues. We had labour reform changes only a few weeks ago and some strike action then as well. This is different. Talk us through what's different.
So I think you can't separate the two. I mean, currently the demand is primarily by public sector unions. Yes, you're right, we have seen this story before, but nothing at this scale. All the public sector unions are coming together in joint strike action. We haven't seen this kind of joint action in a decade or more. And the demands, like you said, is about the action of 120,000 workers, pay freeze, which has been long-standing, also Social Security changes, but it can't be separated from the labor law reforms that were passed a few months ago. This can't, because, you know, the CGT, the second largest union, but also other unions have said, you know, these laws need to be changed because they see this as a kind of an attack on the political and economic power of unions. You know, 9% of, France has 9% union density, but you know, negotiates for 90% of the workforce. So by individualizing the collective bargaining process, it undermines their power writ large.
Now, President Macron, when he campaigned on this ticket that he would reduce the size of the public sector, there would be large-scale job losses, and there would be significant change. And many are seeing that this is what's needed in France to make it more competitive, to bring it up to where many economies in Europe are already at. How will there be some middle ground met here, or will there be any middle ground, given the fact that Macron has a large majority in Parliament? Will he just plough through anyway? How's it going to play out? Well,
I mean, if he wanted to plough through anyways, he could have passed the reform not through the kind of sort of presidential executive order style that he did before. And if you look at Macron's standing right now, it's not the strongest. I mean, he's the president with the fastest plummeting public support of any sitting president in French history. And before him, when Hollande tried to pass this, he was the most unpopular at 70% opposition to the reforms. So it's not as easy as just passing it because he has 5 years ahead of him and he doesn't want to be sort of tarred by this. So I think it's important in terms of competition. I mean, what's often used, I would say, by the sort of mandarins of the state or the proprietors of capital is the question around unemployment numbers. But unemployment numbers don't tell us the whole story, as we know. You know, if you look at, for example, the UK, unemployment numbers stand about half of what they are in France, at 4.5%, but they indicate sort of underemployment, hollowing out of the labor market, you know, sort of contracting wages year on year in real terms. So yes, it is an indication that a proportion of the population in the UK, as opposed to France, a smaller proportion are looking for work, but there are a number of other indicators that would make France less